Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's Down and Dirty. Well, first of all, we need to address what Rick stated in a couple videos back. We're in the new studio finally. And that is why, in all honesty, the channel has been in a bit of disarray for the last 4 to 6 months, is because we've been hardcore focused on getting this place done. And so we're finally here and we can get back to business. But unfortunately, I have lost my hat in the move, so you get to deal with my baldness in this one. So that being said, we're going to talk about what brand of equipment is the best brand of equipment, because I get asked this all the time on the channel, and I've always answered it comment by comment, but enough's enough. We need to just take this head on. Which brand of equipment is the best brand of equipment? None of them. Yeah, you heard me right. Because there's a lot of things that go into a piece of equipment. And there's a couple different ways to answer this question. So my first one is, the best piece of equipment or the best brand for a piece of equipment might be dependent upon what you're actually doing. Because I can tell you definitively that when it comes to hogging machines, when it comes to dozers, Komatsu and Cat are really great hogging machines. But Deere actually has the ability to really do a nice job with finessing and fine grading. So right there you can see it's really dependent upon the application that we're doing as to which brand I would pick for a machine. Komatsu does a really good all-around job. Cat's really good at hogging. John Deere's a really good fine grade machine, but it's not necessarily great at the hogging. Like, this is the sort of stuff you get into. And let's go a step bigger. I would say in excavators, I might pick one manufacturer, but dozers, I'd pick another, and loaders, I'd definitively pick another. So there's not one brand that just puts out the best equipment. But we're going to go a step further. And this is for all you rookies who haven't been around the industry for very long. The best brand of equipment that you can buy for your business is the one whose dealership support you have the best relationship with. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, let's think about something here. Let's say you've scored your first decent sized commercial job, and you go out and you're pulling a concrete lot with a 330 excavator, and you decided that you want to go with brand X because it is the best brand in the industry, and you are confident you're going to have a grand old time. Well, then all of a sudden your machine goes down. So you call up your handy dandy dealership and you're like, Mr. Dealer, my lovely machine I just bought from you guys, and it's brand X because I love it and it's the most amazing brand. It's down and I need you guys to come get me fixed up. And the dealership goes, well, we'd love to do that, but it's going to be about 3 days before we can get a technician out to you. Okay. Well, what if I bring it by your dealership? Well, we might be able to get you in this afternoon, but most likely we won't be able to get you in tomorrow. And so it'd probably be end of the week before we can get your machine back to you. Turns out that shiny paint is losing its luster quickly because you went with a brand of equipment because you liked the brand name, whether it's Cat or John Deere or Komatsu or whichever one you pick. You went with the brand because you liked that brand. And it turns out the dealer isn't there to support you. And now that nice excavator that you went and bought has held up your entire job site. And your little dealership can't get you a loaner machine. So now you have trucks sitting, you have manpower sitting, you have support machines all sitting, waiting on your brand to get your piece of equipment fixed. And so the real answer, more than even my initial answer in this Down and Dirty, rather than being a case-by-case basis per equipment, the real answer to this is you go with whatever brand of equipment has the best dealership support and can give you the most uptime on your jobs. And if that means it's Sany or XCMG in your area, you better be buying that brand or you're setting yourself up for some real problems down the road because you don't have dealership support. And don't just go on dealership support, can they get it out and fixed? You also need to look at parts availability. And so let's take XCMG for an example. And by the way, none of these brands are realistic. None of these brands are I've gone and done the homework on. I'm just throwing them out there as examples. But let's say we went with XCMG because the dealership, we've got a great relationship. They've always got us taken care of. They've got loaner equipment. We're in good shape. Until we have something break on our excavator, and now it's 3 or 4 weeks out for a part because it's coming from overseas because our little dealership locally, while they provide great service, they don't necessarily stock all the parts we need. So you can quickly see how there's a lot more that goes into picking a piece of equipment than what color paint's on it or what decals on the side. It has a lot to do with how much uptime you can have with that piece of equipment. And then secondary, it's how well does that piece of equipment perform at the job you want it to do. So as always, I hope this has been helpful. I hope it's giving you a little insight, and we'll catch you guys on the next Down and Dirty.